Hey guys, so welcome back to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Let's carry on where we left off. We're about to start. Court case number 5. Memories float back. Kyoko is gone, and a mysterious masked body appears. The threads holding them all together begin to spin and twine into one. Shit. I honestly don't have much of a clue of what's going on in this case. Let's open our e-handbook, review the truth bullets, and let me go over my theory that I mentioned all way back when. And let's see here. Anyway, we've got 18 truth bullets this time. Monokuma file number 5. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely through the body. They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. Exploded body analysis. The explosion has burnt the upper half of the body beyond recognition. The upper half of the body remained on fire and had to be extinguished. Because of this, the upper half was soaking wet, while the bottom half remained dry. Fake nails. The body was wearing notably long fake nails. Tattoo on the right hand. The body had a tattoo of a dog on the back of the right hand. Fragments near the dead body. There were bits of charred debris near the body. It should be noted that the bomb which had been removed from Monokuma in the gym had disappeared. Sprinklers. The sprinklers are programmed to come on every morning at 7:30, and this time is impossible to change. Okay, that's good to know that it's impossible to change. As such, it can be assumed that if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, it would have gotten wet. When the body was found, 7 a.m., Makoto wakes to the morning announcement. 7:30 a.m., Makoto and Aoi arrive in the dining hall. 7:30 to 9 a.m., Makoto meets the others in the gym, and together they head to the headmaster's room. 9 a.m., Toko is told to find the pickaxe in the garden, where she discovers the body. Knife at the crime scene. The knife found near the body was the same knife that was used to stab it before the explosion. It is also the same knife that Toko had given to Makoto for safekeeping, and the knife the masked assailant was holding when they attacked Makoto. Tarp. The tarp was hidden among the other items in the tool shed. One side was wet and filthy with mud and grime. The other side was completely clean and dry. Chicken coop chickens. The number of chickens in the chicken coop had decreased from 5 to 4. Yasuhiro claims that there were without a doubt 5 chickens just before nighttime last night, and yet... Byakuya's account. Byakuya stated that there was no corpse in the garden just after nighttime last night, so it can be assumed the murder must have taken place sometime after that. Byakuya also said that he, Yasuhiro, Toko, and Aoi were in the gym the entire night, and none of them were alone at any point. Body before the explosion. The corpse had a mask covering its head and a white jacket covering the body. A knife had been thrust into the abdomen, and there were blood stains around the wound. The body had stopped bleeding, but the blood was still wet. It was noted, however, that there was no blood on the ground around the body. Mukuro Ikusaba's profile. Mukuro Ikusaba, female, known as the Ultimate Soldier. She became being obsessed? Okay, sorry, she had become obsessed, I guess is what it's trying to say, with the military from a young age. She disappeared while on vacation in Europe, and reappeared in Japan 3 years later. Apparently, every member of Fenrir gets a tattoo somewhere on their body to represent their membership in the group. Monokuma's account. Apparently, the killing game began with 16 participants, all students. It is assumed that Mukuro Ikusaba was the 16th student. Monokuma also revealed that the reason Kyoko wears gloves is to hide something she doesn't want anyone to see. Maybe she's also a member of Fenrir and she has the tattoos as well? It could be more than one, right? Woodblock key. This woodblock decoration was found in Kyoko's room. It looks like it's actually the key to one of the lockers in the dojo. It was found in Kyoko's room. Only Byakuya had the key to it. We know Kyoko was alive, and apparently she only started investigating until she heard when she heard the class trial announcement. What the hell was it doing in her room? Titanium arrows. A set of titanium arrows was found in a dojo locker. There appear to be 10 in total. Bloody duct tape. Along with the arrows, there was also a wadded up ball of duct tape in the locker. The duct tape had traces of blood on it. It's assumed that this is related to the case, but nobody can imagine how. I think I can. Kyoko's account. Kyoko used Monokuma's secret tool, which grants access to any room in the school, to sneak into the second floor of the dorms. This area seems to have no monitors or security cameras. Okay, time for me to reveal my theory. I think this body here is Junko, the person who was killed way back in case 1 in the gym. Because I was watching that episode with my fiance, and when we got up to the point where she died and she got the spears stabbed through her and she was on the ground, I noticed her boots were the same as the boots on the body. I don't know, is that if it's real or not, that this is actually Junko. The fake nails kind of supports my theory, as well as the fact that the body has several wounds that are several days old. Also, seeing these titanium arrows found in the dojo locker, also now, you know, solidifies my theory. This duct tape, now that I think about it, maybe Junko was wearing this duct tape, so when the spears and stuff hit her, the duct tape sort of protected her, maybe? It looks like a suit of armor, doesn't it? Anyway, that was my theory that I mentioned, and I didn't want to say it just because it was so out there. But there it is. That's all I can think of right now. But everything else, what the hell the keycard's doing in Kyoko's room? If that's Junko's body, has she been hiding this whole time? Why hasn't she been present at the trials? If she was alive this entire time, I have no idea. Anyway, or even, I don't even know who killed... I'm just presuming it's Junko. I'm just going to call her Mikuru right now. That's her name, right? I keep forgetting the damn name. Anyway, let's hit the skills. We got one more skill point, but increases the focus gauge by 2. Costs 2. I don't really think we need that. Honestly, there's probably one skill here I don't need. Let's look. Increases damage to the opponent when this is during the bullet time battle. Bullet capacity. I don't know, they're all kind of useful, aren't they? Steadies your aim a little. Maybe I don't need a steady aim. No, let's keep it. I don't think we need extraordinary focus. Alright, we're done. Let's go. Oh my god, I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's figure it out. I just hope I'm right, but what the hell is this color scheme?
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
It's like a permanent bullet time battle out here.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
This is so tough.
Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
God, he's still tied to this ghost theory.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
Hero, please.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
How did you make it this far?
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One important trait Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her? The gloves?
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
We have to make her take off the gloves?
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
Correct.
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
We really have to spend time proving this. There's no way that corpse was Kyoko, but if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to bullet time battle him? No? Debate it. Great. Thanks, hero. Jeez. Whoa, tattoo on the right hand, explode body analysis, fake nails. This is getting serious. 3 bullets off the get-go.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
I think Byakuya represents all of us at this point. I know that body isn't Kyoko's, and I know I can prove it.
That Kyoko
Okay,
there
what are our
is just
bullets?
a ghost.
Fake nails. Body wasn't wearing notably long fake nails. Is it because they're too long they won't fit under a glove? explosion has burnt the upper half of the body beyond recognition. The upper half of the body remained on fire and had to be extinguished. Because of this, the upper half was soaking wet, while the bottom half remained dry. The tattoo on the right hand. The body had a tattoo of a dog on the back of the right hand.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is
Damn.
absolutely...
I don't even know if I'm right about that.
discussion is idiotic.
But let's try it.
That Kyoko. Okay, then prove
The dead body was.
They got burnt up in the...
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Yeah, no way.
No, that's wrong.
No way those fake nails will fit under those gloves. They're too long.
No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain.
Yes.
Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
You're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Fit your daily life,
Then
huh?
that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
Yeah, that was supposed to be our first thing, but
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Sprinklers, exploded body analysis, tattoo on the right hand.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
Shit. This is getting tough. And the one thing that can tell us was on the victim's own body.
If Kyoko really is still
tattoo.
alive, then who died?
And then we can link that to Fenrir.
There's gotta be some
And we
way
can
to
link that to the
figure it
16th
out.
student,
I
Mikuru.
don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Accidentally
No,
decreased time, but that's okay. Still got it. I primmed the silence shot.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, he'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
Thank you, Hina.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
I think I've established my reputation as someone who can get things done on the trials, okay?
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
A wolf.
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
Damn it.
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Come on, guys. We've done this so many times. Focus.
Oh, really?
If you compare the tattoo to other information we have, the victim's identity should become clear. I'm obsessed. Yeah,
I got it!
this one.
The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is wolf. Okay, simple enough, right? O-O-O-N F. Where's the W? Man, these letters are flying around everywhere. There we go. Now where's the F? Got it.
Now I understand.
Okay. Let's just build up
The
on this.
representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
And then we can figure out what the bloody truth behind this case is.
Fenrir, the wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast.
Wow, she knows quite a bit about it.
He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. And that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right.
Monokuma interjecting, eh?
Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
What? Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
Damn it, what's going on? Was Mukuro working with Monokuma?
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
But that's not her true title, it's the ultimate soldier.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place.
So why did Kyoko say that? Damn it, I can't figure that
After
out.
all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description.
I know, right?
All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from
Kyoko.
Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
She wouldn't get it wrong. She just did it deliberately.
Then who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
And why hasn't she been present at the class trials?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
Why is she so adamant about that?
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
This is so cool and crazy.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place.
I need to pay attention to this. This could be important.
Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
There's gotta be something I'm missing. What am I missing?
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Or is it another thing like with Sakura and they killed themselves?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Okay, no, that can't be true.
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
What the hell?
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
How have we not known about who Mukuro is, though?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Shit.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Me. Based on what we know, there can be only two suspects. Me and Kyoko.
I got it!
I wouldn't say it with that much
Narrowed it down
excitement.
to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
I'm always so suspicious of Byakuya. He could be putting his grand plan into motion at any point, right?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are us two.
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
Not to mention the knife and me not being present. So the suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it! I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Yes?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want, somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at...
Nighttime.
Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body?
Which was, what, 9 a.m. the next day? That's 11 hours, unaccounted for.
Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
So what time was the body discovered?
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock. So it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay. Go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
Can we, though? Maybe the body was moved there. So it might not even have been at 10 o'clock.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around...
7:30.
Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. And I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. What if I can prove that the murder took place before 10 p.m.? Then I can give myself an alibi, right? And crush everyone else's ones. Okay then. Looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. Yes, exactly. My thoughts, Makoto. Glad to see we're on the same page here. We're one. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Okay. Yeah, how do we prove when the murder took place? Sprinklers, exploded body analysis, fragments near the dead body.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
I know it's the time, dude. There's something that happens in the garden at the same time every morning. Thinking back, the corpse is almost totally dry. In which case, I should be able to figure out when the body must have appeared in the garden.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto
Sorry, I just
doesn't
wanna
have
listen
an
to this one more
alibi for
time.
most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
No, it's wrong. Shit. Come on, Makoto, don't scare me like that. Makes me think something weird is going on.
Shoot!
I need to think about it one more time. There must be a contradiction in there somewhere.
We've established a time frame
Shit.
for the murder.
Exploded body analysis.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto.
Yeah, from to 7:30.
No, it's wrong as well. Shit. I'm losing it.
Shoot!
Okay. Rewind it back. We don't have much time on this one. 3
We've
minutes
established
44.
a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
What am I trying to prove here? There's something that happens in the garden at the same time every morning. The sprinklers go off. Thinking back, the corpse is almost totally dry. In which case, I should be able to figure out when the body must have appeared in the garden. How do I kick this stupid thing's ass? Okay, my 3 things are exploded body analysis, the sprinklers, and fragments near the dead body. Sprinklers are programmed to come on every morning at 7:30, and this time is impossible to change. As such, it can be assumed that if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, it would have gone wet. Does this mean I need a fire at the 10 p.m. one? Let's get rid of this.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
No, that's wrong as well. Shit! What, you think there's some mistake lurking in what I said?
Shoot!
What am I
We've
doing?
established a
Losing
time
my
frame for
mind.
the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be
Is
the
this
time.
it? Is this where I
We've
finally
established
fall?
a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock.
There we go. The
No,
sprinklers.
that's wrong!
I know what I'm trying to object here. I just don't know how to counter it.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
Otherwise, the sprinklers would have gone on the body.
And what makes you say that?
Phew. Okay, now I need to patch up my reputation.
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30,
The entire body would have gotten wet.
then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Just the top half, though.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
Gross.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
What the hell are you talking about?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
I need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with a certain evidence, and that should do it. If we look at the body itself, that should make it clear. Oh shit, I don't have much health. This is gonna be a tough battle. No room for error.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no!
Don't have much
I
time.
don't know anything!
Don't have much room for errors.
Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you.
Oh, losing it. Never mind, got it.
How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
It's the only bullet I have.
This should prove it.
Gotta be mindful that there might be multiple bullets in this final strike. Okay, good.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers.
Thank you for not using nigger time. That would have completely screwed me over.
The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
What?
I'm so sick of her.
You and me both, Tina.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because
I dumped a bucket of water on it.
while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place
After 7:30.
sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But the fact that there's no blood on the ground there kind of proves that they weren't murdered there, right? So that's what they're going to counter with. Well, that's what I'm assuming Byakuya is going to come up with. So that's something I need to start preparing to answer as well.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
I'm ready for his comeback.
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
It's not going to be this easy to convince them.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Ugh. Now I have to protect Kyoko. She's been protecting me this whole time. But I'm sure she can handle herself. Kyoko's the only one without an alibi? Which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No. I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing.
What is it?
Danganronpa.